What we got going on today is we got to put the decals on the tractor, and since it's like -5 degrees outside and it's a little chilly in here, the paint on the tractor is a little cold. So we got a little heater going on over here. We got the heat cranked up so we can try to warm the tractor up. Once it's warm enough, then we can take the decals and slap it on the tractor, because we don't want the stickiness of the decals to not bond with the paint on the tractor. So that's the plan. And we are hoping that we get this done today and maybe take it out and do some brodies.
I have a female Pioneer hydraulic coupler. It's a little bit older one. The one that's on the case drain for the air drill that we're going to put on that tractor got mashed a little bit, and so you really don't need a high pressure. This is a used one. Instead of putting a new one on, I'm going to go ahead and use this one. It's good, except this type really has a hard spring to try to push that open enough to slide the male part of the fitting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ring around this here, clamp it down tight, so then we have a lot more area here to open this up to make it work. So we'll see. There we go. Got the seam welded. It's really tight, so it's not going to come out of those grooves. And now I can sit there, and when I want to plug it in, I can grab it, because sometimes this gets oily and dusty in your hands and you just can't hardly pull this tight. That way I can just go like this. It'll snap into place and we're good to go.
Problem with this air horn is the bottom horn is not honking, I noticed. Just the top is. It's very monotone. So I've taken the cover off the back. Here's the little diaphragm. We had to replace it because the old one, the aluminum, was corroded. Basically, the air leaks around improperly and the sound wasn't very good. There's actually junk in there, I can see. So this is brand new, but the bottom horn's not working. So I'm gonna see if I can diagnose it. I think somewhere, I'm looking for it, air enters this chamber back here. I'm gonna try to find it and find out why this thing doesn't want to honk. I don't see a port. Oh, there it is. Maybe there's not enough airflow to operate both horns. There should be. It's got a plenty big enough line running to it, and it's got over 100 PSI. I'm just gonna try honking it with just the 2 screws in it. It's only doing 1 horn at a time right now. You should be able to hear 2 tones going. To me, it seems like all the air is going to the top one, which makes me think bottom diaphragm or reed is too tightly compressed against it, like the spring is too tight. Perfect. So I replaced the horn that was on this thing because the old one was corroded, and it came with this really chintzy plastic valve, which I went online and looked, and the reviews are absolutely terrible. Saying about 1 in every 2 people say they break and leak. Well, sure enough, after like the first honk, it's stuck inside, quit working, and so we used a push button air valve that we had for a seat, because we just happen to have that on hand, but I don't think it's letting enough volume of airflow to the horns to activate both reeds on the dual air horn. So we got 1 monotone right now, and we're gonna hopefully find a better valve at some point that allows more airflow to operate too. But for the time being, this will be okay. Of course, we put the wheels on,
And whenever you put the wheels on, you're gonna dig them up. So we didn't even plan to paint them and then stick the wheels on because you're gonna mark it up. So my job is to clean up the markups. And people might criticize different ways of doing it. I know there's a wrong way, and then there's a white way. And so I'm doing it white. See how this brush is? I've been doing it so fast that it's been burning off the edges. So I've got probably about 1 hour left before it's down into the cone. Painters know that, and I'm one of them.
We gotta get cleaned up, putting the decals on. You don't want smudges and stuff here and there, so in this shop, everything is dirty. Everything is dirty. So no matter what you touch, your hands get grummy. We're trying to clean up our hands and whatever, buckets, tools, anything we're gonna be using while we're putting the decals on, so it's just a clean environment. When we first started doing decals, we didn't really know what we were doing, and we used to put them on dry, just basically stick it on there and have air bubbles everywhere. And then like, oh, it's crooked, we gotta carefully try to peel it off without ruining it, put it back on again. And then we learned that you can use soapy water and wet the area down. You can put the decal on, you can kind of maneuver it around, get it where you want it, squeegee out all the water, and let it go. It's kind of like putting a screen protector on your phone. It actually works really nice. And a lot of times you put it on crooked, you can take it off multiple times, keep putting it on and off without losing the integrity of the adhesive or messing up the decal.
We had these decals made earlier this spring, and we were hoping to get the bud done. Didn't get it done, so we still have the decals. But the decals, well, let's just say it was over $1,000, probably closer to $1,500 in that range. They're not cheap, so we got to be really careful when we're putting them on that we do it right. So we'll see how it goes.
Before you put the decals on, it's always a good idea to get the surface nice and clean. So I'm just taking a little lightly soapy water. This shop, like I said earlier, is really dirty. So just spray a little bit along, take a nice clean shop rag or whatever it may be, paper towel, and just wipe off. You can see all the dirt. There's just dust, dirt, grime. Our fingers been touching it on and off. Get the surfaces, areas where the decals are gonna go, ready. So that way when we're ready to go, you're not waiting on me to do this. And also because there's not a lot of these tractors, there's not a lot of decals being made for these tractors. The decals came on basically big rolls of sheets with some instructions of where they go. We want to make sure we know exactly what decal goes where before we put them on, because it's like a Band-Aid. You put it on, you can't take it off, put it on multiple times, otherwise it just doesn't stick anymore. Decal is the same way, you gotta be careful. So we want to make sure we know exactly what goes where before we put them on. So that's what those guys are doing right now. I have faith in them, I know they'll do okay. If they don't, well, we have already been down that road in the past, and I don't want to be there again.
What I'm trying to do here is they've got all the different decals mixed matched, just the way they printed them out. So I'm cutting them out so we can stack them in the different piles. So like the ones that go on the hood, the ones that go on the cab, fenders, wherever they got them, and then we can label them, stack them, and then we know which ones we need to deal with. And makes it a little easier when we're trying to go through and put them on. So I went to sewing class, learned how to cut. It's pretty amazing.
We're done. We finished.
No, we didn't. We're not done yet, Nick.
He's almost done. Don't worry.
I'm almost done. Don't worry. Now we're done.
What do you think, guys? The decal's pretty awesome. I cannot wait. But guys, the reveal video is coming next video, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be the combination of everything. Typical Welker style time lapse, beginning the tractor rolls in to the day it rolls out, reveal. It's gonna be amazing. You guys are gonna wanna watch it for sure. So, next episode, keep an eye out for it. And guys, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel so you get the little notification. If you click the little bell that tells you, hey, the new video's posted, because you don't wanna miss this one. So, God bless. Catch you later.